Well, good evening, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome to Lisa Horton Crafts. I'm Sheryl, and I'll be here today sharing an easy card that you can make using some of Lisa's fabulous products. So today I'm using, let's see, well, before that, can everybody hear me okay? Hi, Lorraine. I see Janet is here and Tracy is here. Thank you so much for joining. We're glad you're here. Everybody else who's on the other platform, I can't really see you. I've got the YouTube messages up, but thank you for joining. Um, so we have here, if you could just let me know, in anybody that's on YouTube, if you could just let me know that you can hear me, but I'll keep going, assuming that you can. I've got just a couple of products today, which is unusual for me. I usually have lots of products. Thank you, Janet and Lorraine. Okay. I usually have lots of products, but today I've just got an ink and a die set. And then I've got some embellishments, of course. But this is the product set that I'm using today, the Wavy frames compositions. This is set H. This is one of the last releases of the composition dies that came out. There were three different sets. So there's this set that I'm using, and then I've got some color shift ink, the Coral Waters, and I also have some fashion oyster embellishments from Spellbinders. So really a minimal amount of products for today. And let me show you a sample of the card. So here it is. I did this one in Lagoon Punch, which is another one of the color shift inks. And so I'm going to make this same card, but I'm going to use the Coral Waters and see how that turns out. I did another color too, and it's such an easy design, and these composition dies are great. So for those who haven't seen, when you get your composition dies, Lisa's gone ahead and put some ideas for you onto a card. So there are 4 designs that you can get started right away using this. And then these are the dies. I've done a lot of the die cutting already, but there's these wavy frames that I just absolutely love. And then there's some stitched, I guess you could call them labels, tags, but you can use those for layering as well. And then you got some circles and flowers and a sentiment. So you've got everything you need in one little package to make some beautiful cards. Lots of different design ideas there. So to get started, I'm going to die. I did some die cutting, but not all. So I need to die cut this wavy frame. So I've got a piece of white cardstock here, and I'll just put this on, and I will get my little platinum 6 here ready. And I'll move this over and I'll do this die cutting real quick. Hope you guys are having a great week. It's been, so far, it's only been, what, one day? But so far so good this day. My day got off to a crazy start, but oops, I didn't angle my die there. That's what created all that noise. Sorry about that. And so there's my die cut. So my day got off to a crazy start. I had an appointment this morning, and when I went out to, I've got a, I don't know where I put it. I've got a little holder for my dies when I'm not using my tacky mat. Here it is. For my dies, for my inks when I'm not using my tacky mat, which I won't be doing today. Although I could actually, I could. Let me do that. Let me bring my tacky mat in. It's not like I have to have it, but it'll make my life easier in the long run, I think. So here's my tacky mat on my Ultimate 2. Did you see that there's a new Ultimate out? Really, really awesome. It includes, now the Ultimate includes all the things that was in the package before, but I'm sorry, I'm looking for my ink brush here. You also get the tacky mat included in the package, which is really awesome. And I think on Lisa's website today, it is the pick of the week. So if you don't have your tacky mat, you want to go ahead and make yourself available to that. So what I'm going to do here is, this is the piece that when I die cut my leaves and my sentiment. And so I'm going to use this leftover piece as a stencil, and I'm going to stencil the leaves onto this piece. Let me give me a piece of scrap paper because I want to ink off. I just want a soft background. I don't want a lot of color in my background. So let me get I could actually, no, I'm going to stick with so I'm going to put some ink on here and then take some of the ink off so that I have just a light little bit, and just go around and pick up some of that color using the die cut part as my stencil. And we'll do that all around this piece, this die cut piece, a wavy frame. And that's going to give us the background for this layer of the card. I want to make sure I want it light, but I want to make sure that you can actually see it, which you can. There we go. It's really, really pale, but it's on there. And I'll just turn it around in different directions and do the same thing. I don't have to worry a whole lot about the exact center, just because that I'm going to put that circle, that die cut circle in the center, and just go around with my little handmade stencil. And you could die cut this onto acetate or something and create a real stencil, but this works just as well for these purposes, I think. So anyway, I was telling you about my morning. I got myself all ready and set to go and headed out to my appointment, and my car was deader than a doorknob. So I had to call the auto service, and they came out and put in a new battery for me, which was great, except of course I missed my appointment, so I had to reschedule. But all was not lost. At least I was able to get rescheduled for this later on this week, which is great. But no, I don't think I have nearly enough ink on there. There's none. I want it light, but I want to be able to see it. I can barely see that. Okay, and then we'll do, let's have one coming in this way. And that might be all we need. I might put a little bit on the sides too, but let me do this one and see where we are. But it's cooling off a little bit today. It was really, really nice. I wasn't sweating just standing outside. I was talking to one of my neighbors this morning, And it was nice to be able to stand there and chat without sweat pouring down my face. Okay, and then let's see, I think I'll do a little bit here, just a teeny bit. And maybe same thing over here. And this will create our mat. So there's our little background, and we'll let that go. Oh, maybe, how about a little bit more right in there, just the teeniest bit. Doesn't matter, I don't suppose, but why not? Since we're doing it. Oops. Don't want my stencil moving on me. Okay, so there we're going to call that done. And then I'm going to bring in the circle that I already die cut, and I'm going to load that up with some color. And these tacky mats are great for holding your inks too. So you've got room. If you're doing a smaller piece, you've got room to stick your ink pad on your tacky mat and just go to town. Or if you had, I saw Lisa had one, she had an idea, I think it was Friday's live, where she was sharing that you can cut, if you have an extra tacky mat, you can cut it in half and just use that on your desktop, which I think I might get another tacky mat and do that with it, because I thought that was a great idea. And then it doesn't matter if you've got space or not, you've always got, you can put your little strip beside your Ultimate and just work away. And as you can see, I'm getting this really heavy, get a nice solid coloring of this this circle, and this is Coral Waters. Kind of hid the color from you, but that's the color that I'm working with. And I want to fill this in just a wee bit more, and then we'll be ready to, oops, I didn't intend to do that, but let's blend that out. These inks blend so beautifully. Oh my gosh. So even when you goof, you still got some coverage, because it hides a multitude of sins. And I'm getting ink all over my hand, but that's okay. I'll wipe it off before I keep going. And I don't know why my screen keeps going away. I can't see any comments. Let me stop here for a second and see if I can get that back. Okay, oh, we had a lot more people come in. Hi, let's see who we got. We got Kathy and Trudy and Jean and Lorraine, Beverly, Joanne. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. Now let me get this off my hands. I'm going to spritz some water here before I have coral water everywhere that I don't want it. Okay. All right. So get this over here and take my Ultimate out. And then I'm going to bring in, this is an A2 size card. So I've got an A2 card base here. And then I did do some die cutting already. I die cut my sentiment and just smile. And if you wanted to, you could even ombre this sentiment if you didn't want it just the plain white. And then I cut um, one of the solid leaves and three of the open leaves. And at first I was going to layer them on top like that. And then I thought, you know, I'm wasting a die cut, although I do like that look. That is pretty, isn't it? With that extra detail on it. But we'll just go with this way. So I did it like that. So I had three at the top and then one coming out of the bottom of the circle. And then I put the smile on there. So we'll go ahead and let's see, how do I want to do this? Oh, one thing that I did do before I put this down was I wanted a little shadow. Let me show you on this one. I don't know if you can see that there's a little white going all the way around, and I wanted a little bit of color. I didn't want just a plain white. So what I did was put this dye down, and then I took my ink, I taped it, of course, and I just put this on the card, centered it on the card, and I taped down my dye with some low-tack tape, and make sure that's straight for a wavy frame. And then I took my my brush, and I don't know how much ink is left on this brush. Not hardly any at all. So I'm gonna put some ink on it, and then I'm gonna take the ink off. And then I'm just gonna go around the outer part of this die to add color, but keep the shape of the wavy frame. And just, like I said, not a whole lot of color. But then this, the frame will actually give you that little teeny white border around your die cut, which is what I was looking for. There we go. So now we can lift that up. And we've got our little white border. Let me, oops, got tape. My tape stuck down there. Don't want my tape on there. And then I don't worry about the color that gets in the center because it's going to be covered up by the die cut. So that was the next step that I did. And then I added my die cut to my card front, and just use some glue here, get it going. Hi, Lorraine. Good to see you. Glad you were able to join. Okay, come on here. So I'm just putting my glue, stubborn as it is, around my here we go, with this down here. And then I'm just adding that down there, just making sure we keep that little teeny little bit of white border around it. And you could pop this up too, but I decided just to pop up the frame. And then I glued down my stems, but I didn't want the whole thing stuck down. I wanted some movement there. So I just did the tips, and I kind of started with this one and put it in the center. And then I just built the other ones out around it. Just put glue again on the bottoms of these so that when I add my circle and then my sentiment, they can wiggle around that sentiment and not just be glued down. If you're gonna mail this, you might wanna glue it down, but even with that, I think it would be fine. Even in the mail, if you put another piece of cardstock across it before you put it in the envelope, it should be fine. I'll just make sure I get plenty of glue down there. And then this next one, I want to stick this down and make sure, just kind of look at it and make sure I got enough room. And I do. One of them I had to trim it, but this one will be okay. Alrighty. I think it's time for me to invest in some of Lisa's glue. Okay, so I'm going to adhere this with some foam tape as soon as I can find where I put it. Here we go. And I'll just cut a little piece off of that, off of my roll here. And trim these corners around these edges just a little bit so that it's not sticking out. Okay, and stick that down on there. And then we'll put it on the center of our card front. And about right there. And then we'll add our sentiment, more glue. Okay, I've got some. There we go. And this, I'm mostly worried about this part because some of the S's, the little very edge of the S and the very edge of the E hang off, and that's just fine for this card. So I don't have to go all the way down. And then I just put it down and make sure it's straight. I think that's straight. Oops. I wiggled it a little bit too much. And then I'll take my pearls and stick a few of them on. This is a really easy card, but I think it's very pretty. So, and you can do it in all of the colors. Let's see. I think let's go with the little one. Oops. Me and these little dots. I love using them, but they're always flying all over the place. And then we'll put, I think I put 5 on my sample. So we'll do the same thing here. Or no, I think I only put 4 because I did 1 on the sentiment and then 3 on the card itself, on the little die cut. So, oops, see? I pulled one up that I thought I had down on the card. There. Now let's get this one and put it right about there. So that is my card project for today using the set H of the compositions, the wavy frames. And you can do it, like I said, in multiple colors. You can do whatever. Oh, and then I did a purple one. And then I did use my stencil to do the envelope flap. So it coordinates with the card. And I did one for all three of them. So you got your card and your coordinating envelope. Very simple and very pretty. And I thank you so much for watching today. I hope that you enjoyed the card. I believe that Paula is going to be live tomorrow, so be sure to look for her. She'll be in the slot that Claire is normally in, so check her out tomorrow. And thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to check out that pick of the week. And if you don't have your Ultimate 2, now is the time to get it. So thank you. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.